Good morning. This is Gloria and Gentle Yoga. So glad that you are here with me. And I know it is February. It is cold in many areas where we're practicing. And I thought today would be a good day to just kind of warm the bones and open the heart, free up our energy a little bit. I know we can get very locked down and compressed when we feel cold. And I wore my "Love is my superpower" t-shirt for you for a little inspiration. I saw this, I was like, oh my gosh, gotta get it. So really, what if love was our superpower? It's like taking off my cape. So meet me on the mat today. We're going to be doing a mat practice. Grab mat, 2 blocks, a tie, a cozy blanket if you need it. You might want to keep your socks or your fleece around for later when we cool down and get on the earth. And we're going to start sitting today. So come on over and join me, maybe on a bolster, maybe on a cushion, maybe sitting on your 2 blocks. I find that sitting up on something is helpful. My hips tip forward. You can always cushion your knees or your ankles with a blanket, or prop your knees with your blocks. All options for you. And if sitting cross-legged doesn't work for you, always feel free to do something else. Totally fine. We're not going to sit for too long, but we're just going to do a little tune in today to check in with ourselves. So take a nice big deep breath in, squeeze those shoulders up to the ears, squeeze them up, and then exhale, roll back and down. Good. Inhale, squeeze those shoulders up, just beginning here. And exhale, rolling them back and down. Good, and one more time. Inhaling them up and squeezing them back and down. This time as you inhale up, little prune face, scrunch up the nose, the face, the eyes. Yep. And then let it go. Good. Now, feeling those shoulders down your back, feeling your abs, giving you a little bit of support here, opening the heart and the chest. Let's put one hand on belly and one hand on heart. And closing your eyes. And taking a few deep breaths here. Just bring yourself to the mat, to bring yourself to this practice. To bring yourself back to you. So if there's places where your energy has been scattered, if you can mentally retrieve those parts and bring them back into the belly, back into the heart. And as you do so, just noticing the relief, perhaps, or the homecoming of just bringing your energy back to yourself. I invite you to expand the breath under your hands, starting to feel your belly and your heart come up to meet your hands. Maybe there's a little more of an undulation of the torso. Again, no right or wrong here. We're just checking in with ourselves this morning. Relaxing the jaw. Sensing your heartbeat, your flow, your rhythm. Beautiful. And bringing hands to prayer palms in front of the heart, dropping chin to the chest. Just acknowledging your commitment to your practice here, to coming to practice yoga, coming to explore both the physical, the energetic, and sensing the heat between your palms, maybe the heat between your fingers. You might even be able to tune into the pulse between your palms or your fingers. This kind of subtle life force, this natural rhythm, your heart beating, the most intrinsic rhythm. Good. Setting a little intent for this practice. Maybe it's simply a word or a hope. Nice. And now let's open the eyes and inhale those palms up, prayer palms, all the way up to the sky. Become a little flame here, like you were a little candle flame, maybe wiggling out of the waist. You can do a little pointer finger and cross thumbs there to do the little hold in this pointer finger position. Drop shoulders into shoulder blades. See how easy it is to get the shoulders caught up. Drop them down. Sitting tall here. Take a little side bend. Doesn't have to be much because we don't have so much of the hip press that we have when we're doing this standing. But just a little wake up for the side body, for the ribs. And then coming back to center, exhale. Big sun breath down, slow. Enjoy all the tingling, the energy. Heat maybe. Yes, coming all the way down to earth and giving those shoulders a roll. So we're going to get over on hands and knees and start to warm up these bodies. So again, if you need a little extra cushioning under your knees, I know my knees appreciate that. Feel free to use a blanket or towel, double up your mat. If you've had anything else behind you, you can move it to the side. And come on to hands and knees. Hands right under shoulders, knees right under hips. Starting with cats and cows. Letting belly hang and head come up and tail come up. And exhale, round the other direction, pulling the belly button in, rounding the head down, pulling the pelvis forward, mid back to the sky. And then undulate, go the other way. And the spine be like a hammock, and then spine like a Halloween cat. So find your rhythm, not mine. Maybe even closing your eyes here. What is this intrinsic rhythm, intrinsic wave of the inhale and exhale and the undulation for the spine? And maybe noticing what areas tend to be tight or hold tension. Good. And then pausing in the middle, spreading knees wider. And bringing hands wider and a little further forward as well. And we're gonna loop down now through the hips. Oh, hello hips. There might be little creakies in there. Can let out any moans or groans or sighs. Oh, yes. Go in the other direction. We're also giving ourselves a little belly massage here as the belly gets close to the thighs. Start to open the hips, get a little longer through the ribs. And then pause. We're going to move backwards towards a puppy or child pose. So puppy's buttocks in the air, head to the earth. Child pose is buttocks towards heels, head to the earth. If you want to be somewhere in between, you might even like to put a block or two under your tail for support, or a pillow so that there's support for your tail as the head goes forward. Takes a little pressure off the knees or the hips. Again, being kind here. Know where to get to. Plenty of space for the belly and the chest to hang through. Breathing. Excellent. And then coming back up on all fours. We're going to do our first downward dog today. So spread those hands wide, tuck your toes, send your tail up towards the sky. Soft knees, please, especially on this first one. We are going to walk one heel and then the other to just say hi to the back of the legs. Keep weight going backward so that head can come between the upper arms, just as an extension of your spine. And now walking feet wider. Walk hands backward until the weight's in the feet. And we're ragdolled. And you can simply hang, or if you want to put elbows on thighs and be a little bit higher, a little less of a forward fold, totally up to you. And now let's all press into the feet and uncurl. Let the hands slide up the legs, stack vertebrae, one vertebrae at a time. Exhaling, shoulders back and down as you come to stand. And one hand to belly, one hand to heart. Pause for a moment. Just notice what it's like to be on your own 2 feet. Good. So we're going to do a little more opening for shoulders and for heart here. So cup your hands behind your head. Just a little support behind your head. We're going to wing out the elbows. And that's going to create kind of a natural arc in the back here. And you can do a little baby back bend, supporting your head. On the inhale, coming up, pulling in the abs, tucking chin, let elbows come in towards the sides, the head. And then inhale up and expand. And exhale down, chin towards the chest. So we're not collapsing. We're not doing a cat back. We're just giving a little traction for the spine here. Oh, so going back and forth again, breathing your way. So it's like your elbows are an extension of your lungs, like the bellows of the accordion. Good. And then next time you're up, flip those palms over. So if this is okay for your wrists, you can stay like this. This is called holding up heaven. We're dropping shoulders into shoulder blades. If it's too much for wrists, let one hand grab a top wrist. So there's a little less pressure on the wrist. Either way, we are going to the side. So the lower hand can grab top wrists as the alternate, or pressing palms up. Press hips in the other direction. So don't just try to go over. It's going to be hard. You got to press the hips in the other way. That's your counterweight. Holding up heaven, variation on half moon. Inhale up, drop shoulders into shoulder blades. Tuck your tail under. In the other direction. And if there's a place where you can't breathe, if you've gone too far and it's like, I can't breathe, you've gone too far. So you want to back it up to where you can breathe. Yes. Inhaling up. Exhale, swan dive forward now. Release those arms. Enjoy the ride down. You can pause with elbows on thighs. You can drape all the way towards the earth. Really waterfall that back. Soft knees, please. And now, uncurling, rolling it up. Exhale, shoulders back and down. And give me a little shoulder roll. Good. And continue to open those shoulders. So take right arm and reach it up. Let it go back and around. Let's take a little test drive of your right shoulder mobility today. So it's just a simple little half backstroke here. And on the way down, we're gonna bend the knees. So we got little shock absorber knees on the way down. And now let it find some momentum. A little And let out that ha breath. Lets the stale air out, invites fresh oxygen in. We're opening the lung here. And a little faster. Good. And then finally reaching to the top. And then drop it. Oh, close your eyes for a moment. Notice the difference between left and right sides. And energy, heat, color. Not just arms, but maybe also the ribs, the lung, the back. Yeah, so we are going for freedom here. Left arm, please. Nice and slow first. A little test drive of what this half backstroke is going to be on this side. And again, soft knees on the way down. Yeah. Until we start to let it find a little of its own momentum. Give it a ha on the way down and a ha. So start to warm the body, move some energy, open the lungs, open the heart. Yes, and a little faster. Shock absorber knees. Good. Excellent. Reaching up to the top. And then dropping. Oh, one hand to belly, one hand to heart. Breathing, feeling yourself standing on the earth, feeling the breath, feeling all the energy that shifted. And releasing. Okay, one more thing for shoulders. We're going to draw one arm across. I'm not even going to say left or right because we'll do both sides. So one arm straight across the chest and the other elbow is going to catch it. I feel like there should be a good curse word with this. But anyway, so we're not twisting. We're just staying straight forward and we're giving some resistance. So it's as if this arm wanted to open the gate, but this arm, we're keeping it from doing so. So we're just adding a little resistance between the forearms, and that's going to invite some space in the back shoulder there. Nice big breath in. So this is kind of like our threading the needle pose that we do on the floor, but we've got this forearm creating the resistance now. Good. One more breath. And releasing. Notice the difference between left and right arms. I know there's some of you who work on the computer out there. I know I do. So this gets right behind those kind of gnarly computer spots. So I'm going to go right across with the other forearm. Catch it. Square off the torso to the front. And we're adding a little bit of resistance between the arms. So we're actually not moving anywhere. It's just an isometric press. Only you can know the right amount of resistance. So we're not trying to force anything, not trying to add stress. Just getting curious about space behind that back shoulder. Good. And then releasing. Yes, those shoulders feel. So one last shoulder thing. Take your wings out. We're going to bring a left elbow under right. We're just crisscrossing. And hug yourself. Drop shoulders down. So this might be your version of eagle arms. Again, we're broadening the back of the shoulders. Or if you like, you can turn forearms vertically and wrap the arms. So it's a little wrap with the arms here. Might be one hand holding the other. And if they don't quite meet, that's totally fine. Just create the resistance with the arms, or you can stay hugging. Let's come up with the elbows. Hello, shoulder blades. Down with the elbows. Subtle movement here. Eagle arms. Up and down. And then releasing. Let those arms fly. Those wings fly. And we are going to go right elbow under left. Hug. So that might be your eagle arms right here, or if you want to turn And wrap the forearms into our kind of pretzel pose on this one. So inhaling up, exhaling down. Can be subtle. Inhaling up, exhaling down. Good, one more. And free up those wings. This time take hands behind you and interlace them. So if this feels okay for shoulders, that's fine. But if you've had any shoulder issues, I know I have an old rotator cuff injury. I like to do this with a tie instead. So this is a good place for your yoga tie. Maybe just holding a couple of inches of tie or a foot of tie or a shoulder distance apart of ties so that you've got lots of space here for shoulders to roll back and down. Heart naturally opens on this one. Spread feet a little wider out towards the edges of your mat. Nice big breath in. Leading with your heart. Maybe remembering your intent, your hope. Lead with that. Bending the knees, draping the head. Let the arms come off the back. And particularly if you have a tie, you may feel like this can drop back into space more. If the hands are clasped, let them just go to where they go without strain on the shoulders. Belly close to the thighs. Surrendering head below the heart here. And now pressing into the feet and uncurling, rolling it up, taking your time. Open chest, open heart. Release your hands or the tie, just let it drop. Let those arms float for a moment. Enjoy the after effects. That whole shoulder series. And releasing. Nice job. Okay, we are going to get into some of our standing poses now. So go ahead and put your tie to the side if that's on your mat. If you've had a blanket on your mat, and put that to the side. But I am going to invite you to grab your blocks. If you've got your 2 blocks, these are handy in this standing series. So put those blocks just towards the front of your mat. Feet hip distance apart. Let's tuck our tail and zip up imaginary jeans. So you can see how that creates a micro bend in the knees. So if your knees are locked out and your butt's backward, it's just a little tuck under. Good. So now that you're stable on your base, let's big inhale up. Let's exhale over the high bar, a little upward salute. Pose of gratitude. What if love were your superpower? Yes. Inhale up and swan dive forward. The truth is, it is all of our superpowers. Inhale halfway up. So we're going to slide hands up shins, long back, long legs. On the belly button, roll shoulders away from the ears. And now soften the knees and melt forward. Inhale halfway up. This is our half forward fold. Torso just comes on the horizon. And then exhale, fold down. One more time, inhale halfway up. Pull in the abs to help. Good, exhale, fold. Let's bring hands to blocks, or I should say, let's bring blocks right outside our feet. Probably on the medium level, so you got nice little platforms here. Take a big stride back with right foot. We are in a high runner's lunge. Move your blocks if you need to, so they're right under your shoulders. Press back through the back heel, puff out the back thigh. So if your butt's way in the air, drop the hips down. Find the 90-degree shin for your front leg. If your knee's way out over your toes, back it up. Yes. Leaving right hand on your block, left hand on your thigh. We're going to turn into a twist. You can stay here with the hand on the thigh, or you can take the hand up to the sky. Create a little more dynamics here. Long line between heel and crown of head, long line between lower hand and upper hand, spinning from the heart. Beautiful. Coming back down. Hands on blocks. We're going to take a little pump off that back foot to step forward. So send hips high and then step forward. Go forward, fold. Diving in. Inhale, looking forward. We're going to step back left foot. Big stride back. So we're going to get on the ball of that back foot. And by the way, if your foot came too much in the same line, it's going to feel unstable. You really want this back foot at least hip width apart. Yeah, you can even walk it out a little further if you want, to the left. Good. Left arm and hand right under left shoulder. Nice vertical platform there. Right hand on your thigh, and take a spin to look over right shoulder. And let this right knee wing out. That's just still stays going forward. A long line between the back heel and crown of head. You can stay with your hand on your thigh or take this top hand up, expand. Breathe in, spinning from the ribs and the heart, reaching earth to sky. Yes. And now coming back down, hand to block. And take a little pump off that back leg. Think about where that left foot's going to go. Hips high, step forward. Yes, dive into forward fold. And now press into the feet. And inhale all the way up. Let's rise. Sun breath to the top. All the way back to prayer palms. Let's bring prayer palms right down the middle. Back to our heart. Dropping chin towards the chest. Coming back to your breath, your intent, your rhythm, that heartbeat. Maybe sensing again heat between your palms, life force energy. Good, and releasing. Excellent. So I'm going to invite you to turn out sideways on your mat the long way. And you can move your blocks out of the way if you want. Turn your front foot forward. I'm not even going to say left or right because we may be in different directions. So front foot forward 90 degrees. Take a look at the alignment of your heel of the front foot with the instep of the back foot. That's going to help stabilize you here. And this back foot could turn in just a hair, maybe heel out a little, toes forward just a hair. Good. Taking arms out on the horizon, and we're bending front knee into our warrior two. So notice if that front knee wobbles in, we really want to activate this inner thigh. So you've got that 90-degree shin. That's important for keeping that front knee safe. Again, if your knee's way out over your toe, too much strain, back it up. In fact, everybody back up their torso so that weight's evenly distributed between both legs. Turning palms face up. A little more open-hearted. Let's take peaceful warrior. Back hand towards back leg, top arm towards ceiling. Yes. What if love was your superpower? Let it pour on in from above, reaching and receiving. You are the column for divine intent. Beautiful. Pinwheel arms back to the horizon. We're going to put front elbow right on this front thigh. So we've got shoulder, elbow, knee, ankle. Other hand on your hip and roll your ribs towards the ceiling. So we're more in a two-dimensional plane. Take this top arm up. This is warrior angle pose. And you can keep it vertical, or you can take the top arm way over towards the front to feel this whole top side length. Strong legs there, you got it. And now pinwheel back up to the horizon. Yes. Turn this front leg in, both legs straight. We're going to skydive forward over wide open book legs. Good opportunity here to maybe use blocks as platforms for your hands. To maybe explore a little bit of left and right by bending one knee, extending another leg, and just see how that feels. Yes, getting into the hips, into the groin. Might be a little creepy crawly here, a little low to the earth. Good, and then coming back to center. Turn the heels and toes out slightly. This just makes it a little easier to come up. Safer for the knees as well. Press into the feet, bend the knees, and uncurl. Roll it up. Reach those shoulders back and down. Pause, one hand to belly, one hand to heart. Let's notice where we've been. Up and down. Side to side. Deepen our power and our grace. Releasing. Okay, we're going to turn the other way. If you want to take your blocks to the other side so that you can still be face forward towards your viewing, that might be helpful. We're going to turn front foot 90 degrees. Take a look at alignment of the front foot and the back instep. Adjust that back foot if you need to. Arms out at shoulder height, and we're bending into our warrior. Knee right over ankle. If you want to go deeper, you adjust the back foot. Good. Pausing. Backing up your torso so weight's even. Pulling palms face up. Or open-hearted. Yes, taking back hand towards back leg, top arm towards sky without changing anything else on the base. Peaceful warrior. Really letting this top arm be that channel between heaven and earth. Yeah, it's beautiful. And wheel back to the horizon. Nice and steady here. Equal weight on both legs. Now we're gonna put front elbow on front thigh, just above the knee. Another hand on your hip. And this lower hand, you palm face up. It's like you're serving pizza. Call it a pizza plate hand. And turn the ribs towards the ceiling a little more. A little more of a two-dimensional plane. You can stay right here or take top arm towards the sky. Keep rolling ribs up. Or top arm way up and over. More of a whole top body stretch and angle. Of course, it's a little more challenging for your legs, so totally up to you as to where you want to be here. Your warrior angle pose. When you're ready, pinwheel the arms back to the horizon. Turn both feet parallel to the long side of your mat. And with wide open book legs, we are hinging forward. Again, this might be a good place for blocks. Little TV finger hands on the floor. You might like to reach for the outsides of the ankles or the big toes. You also might get curious about turning the hands through the space between your legs and spider your fingers backward and soften the knees to invite more of the upper body down. Good. And then when you're ready, flipping hands over if you need to. Turning heels in, toes out. Press into those feet. We're going to uncurl and make your way up. And exhale, shoulders back and down. Go ahead and step it in now. And turn towards your front. One hand to belly, one hand to heart. Big breath in, big breath out. And some of that may have been challenging for you, and that's okay, but just notice what got warm, what is open, what was strengthened, lengthened. And then releasing. Excellent. So we are going to make our way down for the second half of our practice to do more of that on the floor, but we're going to get there with a little flow. So come towards the front of your mat, feet hip distance apart. Do that little tuck and zip, so it's like zipping up jeans, tucking the tail, micro bend in the knees. Roll the shoulders back and down. Inhale up. Exhale over the high bar, upward salute. No need to collapse in low back. Good, inhale up. Exhale, swan dive forward. And hands on the mat and step back one foot, step back other foot. High plank, lower the buttocks and the torso until you're all in one line. Now coming down to hands and knees. And now to puppy or child pose. So puppy pose, buttocks in the air as head drops forward and back lengthens. Child pose a little deeper, buttocks towards heels as you fold in. And breathing out the back body, enjoying this and coming back to earth here. Noticing appreciating and then slowly uncurling. Get those legs out from under. Good. So bring the soles of the feet together. Round angle pose. This is a good place for blocks. You're under calves or knees. This will take a little pressure off groin or hips or knees. We're also going to use this pose as a little back awareness. So pressing down through sits bones, up through heart, up through crown of head, roll the shoulders back and down. Use the strength of your arms to sit up tall. And then exhale, hang backward, rounding in, tucking chin, hanging off the shoulders here. And press down through sits bones. It starts with the pelvis. Then inhale, growing tall, heart rises, head rises, shoulders roll back and down. And then exhale back. It's a little moving meditation here. An inflection for the spine. Go back and forth a few times, finding your breath. And the next time you are up, breathing as you need to, you're going to let the elbows go out towards the knees. And now hinge forward. Head dives towards the feet, doesn't have to get there. So this is considered a kind of a yin yoga pose. Yin and yang and Chinese medicine being kind of the active and passive. So Now, how much less effort could you put in here? Softening the elbows, the shoulders, the head. And there's potentially an opportunity to make this a restorative yoga pose. If you've got a bolster, you might actually like to put the bolster over your feet and create a landing pad for the forehead to relax. And if you don't have a bolster, simply hang and be. Breathe. Notice where you might be holding resistance, not forcing. This is an invitation to soften something, to deepen your inquiry. To remember your intent. And then when you are ready, slowly coming up, take your time. Sense how this kind of pose starts to quiet the nervous system and naturally feels internal. So closing the eyes. Excellent. And releasing and opening the eyes. Hi there. Fold up these knees like a book. Go ahead and stretch them out. Give them a little shake out. And put bolster to the side if you like. We're going to come all the way down on our back to do some therapeutics for the back, for the hips, for the legs as well. So have your tie in the neighborhood before you get down there. Have blocks in the neighborhood. And come all the way down on your back. I'm just gonna tuck in knees and do a little rocking side to side here. Massaging lower back. Good. And bringing feet to the mat, leave the knees in the air. And cross a right ankle over left thigh. Figure 4 like you were sitting in a chair. And now using your abs, draw the legs towards you. You can hold on behind this left thigh. Or if you need a little tie, a couple of inches of tie here to wrap it around your back thigh and hold on. So this is a figure 4 stretch, or piriformis stretch. Being kind to that outer hip and knee, flexing the right foot. The further away you keep the legs, a little less of a stretch. The closer in you bring them, a little more of a stretch. So finding what is right for you today. And you might also like taking this left leg and flexing the foot and sending it up to the ceiling. Truly a figure 4, maybe even pressing your right elbow slightly into right thigh. Tucking the chin just slightly. Feel the whole structure of this, kind of the L of the torso and the leg. Figure 4 of the right thigh and hip. Good. And then bending the knee to release if the leg's been straight. Uncrossing this leg. Bring the feet out towards the edges of the mat and flip-flop these knees side to side. Just to release a little more through the front of the hip flexors, front of the thighs. And then coming back to middle, we'll do the other side. So we'll put left ankle over right thigh, knee wings out, figure 4. Drawing right thigh towards you. You can reach through the donut hole with one hand here. The other hand can wrap around the back of the leg. So the hands can clasp, or if they don't quite reach comfortably, just use your tie. So loop the tie behind your thigh and then hold on. We want to be able to relax the shoulders, Relax this outer thigh, flexing left foot. That helps protect that left knee. Remember, keeping legs a little further away backs off the stretch. Bringing them a little closer to the torso deepens the stretch. Find just the right place where the sensation is interesting but not painful. You might like to straighten this right leg, right foot towards the ceiling, like you were standing on the ceiling, making it a true figure four, and also a bit of a hamstring stretch here for the right side. Keeping chin tucked just slightly. Feel the L of the torso and the leg, the figure four of the outer thigh. Good. And then releasing. Uncrossing, releasing your hold. Bring those feet out to the edges of the mat and flip-flop knees side to side. In fact, let's leave those knees over to the left and turn the head to the right. Arms can just be out by your sides or a little more of a T. And so feeling the passive stretch here through the thigh, the hip flexor. Good. Inhaling up and exhaling other way with the knees. So knees to the right, head to the left. Nice and easy. Breathing. Easing out through the front half of the body here. Good, and then coming back to center. So we're going to do a supported version of the bridge pose, a restorative yoga version. So take a peek towards me for a moment. I'll show you this and then you can do it yourself. So we're going to have one block right between the feet with the 4-inch way, and that's going to be our spacer, just to keep our feet approximately hip distance, knee distance apart. We're going to be using the other block eventually to put it under our pelvis. And when I say pelvis, I'm talking about buttocks high. So if it's on your low back, could you see how, ouch, that would not be great. So we really want it low down where it's kind of the flat part of the pelvis. And eventually we may be doing one leg up or the other leg up, etc. But this is going to be our pose today. So I'll talk you through it. So come on down on your back, have one block the wide way. Well, actually it depends. If you have wider hips, you might want to go the wide way. If you have somewhat narrower hips, you might want to go in the medium way between your feet. Walk your hands down towards your heels. Take a nice big deep breath in. Nice big deep breath out. On the inhale now, puffing out the belly. On the exhale, pressing mid-back towards the floor and starting to press into the feet, tucking the tail, lifting the hips. It's going to roll the weight towards the upper back and shoulders. Get plugged in for a moment, using the strength of your legs, and now find the other block. We're going to put the wide side of the block, the widest side of the block, right on low back, or I should say not on low back, right on back of the sacrum, pelvis, buttocks height. If you've got a lot of flexibility in your back and you want a little more of a back bend, you might like to turn the block to the second level, only if that feels good for you. Breathing and noticing. So hanging out here, it's a big heart opener. Lots of room for breathing in the belly, in the heart, in the chest. Relaxing the face, the jaw, the tongue, the teeth, the lips. In other words, what doesn't have to work at all here? And this is also a subtle inversion. We've got our head below our heart. If you'd like to make it a little more of an inversion, you can experiment with leaving one foot on the floor and taking one foot towards the ceiling, like you were going to stand on the ceiling. Enjoy the difference between left and right legs. You might like to bring the other leg up too and let this be a supported shoulder stand. Letting any remaining tension drain out those legs and into the earth. When you're ready, bringing the other leg down first, the one you didn't start with. Let it find the outside of the block as the reference for good support. Eventually bringing the other leg down, letting it find the outside of the block. And now, once both feet are grounded, pressing both feet into the earth, lift the hips. You'll expand the heart just a hair, enough to slide the block out from underneath. And then use the strength of your legs to help control your descent, starting with the upper back, middle back, lower back lands. Awesome. Tucking in those knees now to enjoy the release, giving a little rock side to side. Massaging low back, kidneys. Maybe crossing ankles and grabbing big toes. Maybe forefinger and like little peace fingers grabbing big toes. Again, this is really not too technical. This is really fun. So being in your inner child here, still some rocking. This just broadens that lower back. And still inviting release for outer thighs and hips. And notice which ankle wound up on top, and just for fun, switch them the other way because it's probably your non-habitual way, and rock. Beautiful. And now releasing. And we are going to prepare for our final relaxation. So that might mean putting back on some socks, putting back on an outer layer to stay cozy, maybe using a bolster or a rolled blanket under your knees, especially if you've got any lower back tension or typically whole lower back tension. That can be really nice to have something under your knees during relaxation. You might also like to have a little folded towel or a low pillow for your neck. Not something high, something that can keep your spine in good alignment. But if you know there's a particular way that you like to relax, if you like to do legs up the wall in your bedroom or your living room there, or legs up the couch, get yourself set up for a nice relaxation today. So as you get cozy and Start to settle into your space. Make any final adjustments you need to feel like you can rest. Maybe you've got an eye pillow. And taking a big breath in and a full deep exhale, just settling the exhale to the earth. Nowhere to go, nothing to do. You've been backward and forward and up and down and side to side. And now come into neutral, come into stillness here on the earth. Allowing yourself to feel supported and held. And what if you knew truly that love was your superpower? Who would you reach out to today? Who would you touch? How would you move through the world? And as you breathe, allowing this heart to soften the front side, the back side. Noticing where your heart wants to play today. What would be totally delightful? Letting your imagination go to an ideal spot. What's your ideal playground? Is it by the sea? Is it on a mountaintop? Are you solo, or are you with a loved one or friends, animals? Notice who's with you. Notice what's around, the colors, the shapes. And what would you do in this place? Would you make art? Would you dance? Would you sing? Would you be still? Would you swim? Would you climb? Would you lounge? Beautiful. And then slowly taking a deep breath in, starting to wiggle fingers and toes, but keep this sense of your heart's delight with you. Maybe even bringing hands to belly and heart again. Like you could really imbibe and ground that heart superpower inside you. And when you are ready now, taking a big yawn, stretch, wiggle, sigh. Opening your eyes, letting there be nice, easy, coming back, taking your time. Eventually bending your knees and rolling yourself to one side. Just pausing here for a moment, appreciating. And then when you're ready, pressing your way up to sit. Take your time. Coming back to your comfortable seat. Maybe this is sitting on a cushion or on your blocks or simply on the floor. Rolling the shoulders back and down. Letting the spine be tall. Just noticing if it's a little easier to sit tall now. And bringing those hands, prayer palms in front of the heart, dropping chin to the chest. Once again, acknowledging your heart today and your intent. Feeling the energy, the heat between your palms, between your fingertips, where they touch. Your life force, your vitality, your heartbeat. Bringing those prayer palms right up to third eye, thumbs right between your eyebrows. And trusting our inner vision, our inner GPS to guide us as to how to share our love in the world. And then releasing those hands, opening those eyes, shining out to each other today. A little soft twinkle. Send love from my heart to yours. Hari Om, Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. And namaste.